Welcome everybody. In this video we're going to be talking about a pleasing personality. And we're going to be referring to Napoleon Hill's guide to developing a pleasing personality. And Napoleon Hill is like the granddaddy of the self-help movement. After coming in contact with Andrew Carnegie at a young age, got this proposal to go on this 20-year journey to collect all the secrets of success from the most successful people of his time. He created this book called The 16 Laws of Success. So we're going to go through his methods in developing a pleasing personality and why it's so important to develop a pleasing personality. So he says a pleasing personality is a personality that attracts. It's an attractive personality. And he talks about it being the appearance of your clothes, your tone of voice, the impression you make whenever someone first meets you. That's a lasting impression. And he says that building your personality is an art. It is an art form. And if you couldn't cultivate your personality, then you'd just be stuck the way you are. You can't take an improv class or work on your self-confidence or work on your conversational skills. So he's saying here that personality can be cultivated. One of the ways you can do this to develop a pleasing personality is to take a keen interest in other people. And he says, have a contagious smile. And honestly, for me, I know hands down, and recently actually, I was just interacting with someone and they were just chatting away, but the smile was just so contagious. And whenever I got done talking to this individual, I was just like, the world is a good place. It just lifted me up. So a contagious smile is very good in the area of developing a pleasing personality. And he says to be a willing listener. Be a willing listener. Sometimes just being there, and I'll just taking in what the other person is saying can put you in high regards. And some of the other things he mentions here. He says, I like this principle. He says, make it your business to study other people closely enough to find something about them or their work that you really admire. He says, only then will you develop a personality that is irresistibly attractive. And this is something that is really good mental hack, because you start moving through the world once you start applying this and you start to look for the good in other people. Some people are living life in the reverse. They're looking to find fault. But with this, you're the sort of person who looks for the good in other people. And this ties in really well with acts of random kindness, Sean Anker, where he says just, say nice things, tell someone what you like about them. It's a really, really good habit to have. And he says this goes into the makeup of developing a pleasing personality. Let's just see. So what else? And he goes on to then he just goes on to talk about how a lot of people, whenever it comes to making plans in life. They think a lot about what to do and how to do it, but they don't really take into consideration what they have to do in order to actually get that thing. So and he says that the people he says that the people who are attracted to you are the ones who resonate with you on an inward sort of level. So people who are attracted to where you're at, where you're at vibrationally, because we live in a vibrational universe. So it actually makes sense that the more you sort of work on yourself and work on your personality, and the more you look for the good in other people, then you're going to attract people who are on that wavelength. And those are the sort of people you want to attract anyway. Let's see. So he says it requires self-discipline to build your personality, to build your character. If you learn about speaking confidently and using eye contact, or like focusing on someone's good traits, or finding something you really admire, these are things that actually require discipline, because you actually have to do it. It's not enough just to know about it. You have to actually be about it. You have to actually go about doing these things. And he talks about affirmations. I'm confident. You just like, I don't know, repeating all these affirmations enables you to be able to actually build these traits. And there's an interesting process that Napoleon Hill talks about in his book, and it's known as the invisible counselor technique. Now, the invisible counselor technique is whenever you imagine in your mind a council table, and in this council table you find individuals in which you want to imitate, and you call them forth and say, I don't know, Socrates, or like Malcolm X, or like Jim Rohn, I don't know, whoever you feel, Mother Teresa, I don't know, and you visualize in your head that there's this council table, and then you ask of them or you say to them that, Mother Teresa, I'm gonna be developing your kindness and your charitable nature, and Malcolm X, your ability to confidently speak for worthy cause, etc. And he says that from here, you will actually start to take on the characteristics in which you are visualizing and wishing to adopt. So this is actually a very interesting technique, and he was the first person that I ever came across ever seen anything like that, which is really, really cool. Let me see what else. It says to keep in your mind, another way to develop a personality, keep in your mind positive thoughts. Let that be the dominating thoughts in your mind. Thoughts of the person you intend to be. Now, if you're out in a social setting and there's someone there constantly radiating positive energy, you're going to want to be around them. Life can be tough. So whenever you're in a social setting, or whenever you're in a social environment, you're hanging out with friends, or in a club or bar or social event, and if you meet someone who's radiating positive energy, someone who's like the light in the room, you're going to want to be around them. generally speaking, you're going to want to be around them. Okay. And it said, whenever you have time in the day to do this technique of closing your eyes and visualizing this invisible council table, and he says to do it 12 times a day. This is what he says in this book, 12 times a day for a few minutes. And it says, find at least one person every day, maybe in your house or outside your house if you go for a walk or something, and one person or more if possible, in whom you see some good qualities that are worthy of praise, like sincere praise. And he says, and praise them, praise that quality that they have. Be genuine, and this is going to do them good, and it's going to do you good, as it's forming the pleasing personality that this video is about. And it says, the benefits of doing something like this is that it sets into motion the vibration to which thoughts back of your words reaches and embeds itself on your subconscious mind, where it takes root and grows until it becomes a great moving force in your outward physical activities, leading in the direction of transformation of the thought into reality. So he actually said something very interesting, where he says that the more you actually look for the good in other people and you praise it, then the more that actually shows up, that actually, whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're sort of praising, actually increases. So in psychology, we know that whatever is positively reinforced increases the chances of that behavior being repeated. So if I wake up, and every time I wake up at a certain time, the alarm goes off, and all of a sudden there's like a big celebration. The people run into my room somehow and high five me, and like, you know what I mean? It's like a big celebration. We've got good music on every time. People are clapping you. You know, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna get up at that. I'm gonna get up at that time. You know what I mean? So whatever behavior is positively reinforced, it increases its likelihood of being repeated. So that's another one. And he says, to develop a pleasing personality, develop your ability to speak with force and with conviction. And he says, put emotions back of your words. Put emotions back of your words if you want to develop a pleasing personality. And he says that speech is the main way in which we express ourselves, express our personalities, and it is cultivated through speaking with force and with conviction. Conviction. So he says, prominent leaders and able speakers, this is how they sort of go about it. I mean, like, it's not often you hear of people who are the greatest speakers who are like, oh, hello, hey, hello, okay, and yes, I'm going to speak to you today. So I completely understand this principle here. And he says that clothe yourself in a style that is becoming to your physical build and in the work in which you engage in. For some reason, I'm thinking of like just the most randomest clothes right now. Just like going into having like a regular office job, but you're coming in like dressed like a sumo outfit. What? Right. Okay. So basically, dress appropriate to the way you work, and your that's a style that's becoming to your physical build. So I don't know if he means if it fits your physical build or not. Someone's wearing like really really baggy clothes. I know like skin, well fitted stuff is seen in a lot of cases to be the sort of like well fitted look. And he states here by attract other people to you by first attracting you to them. Okay. So obviously your clothing isn't everything. Um, your personality is, but he says, and in other doctrines it says that when someone first sees you, that's all they're going by, really. It's like, what's this person dressed as? I'm like, oh, okay. And there's great power to someone who is sociable and positive. Working on your social skills, making yourself agreeable, will help you materially and mentally, for you will never be as happy in any other day as you will when you know that you're making others happy. Oh, seriously, the one thing I want to one sort of story I want to sort of put into this is something that literally just happened. My sister had ordered something to be delivered, and the person who delivered the food, my goodness, like he was just so friendly, so friendly. He's just exuding positive energy, like positive energy. And I walked away. I was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like most people who are serving you are just like, yeah, okay, yeah, here's your food. They have this like kind of like vibe that like they just kind of want to do the work, get it over with, and get out. You know what I mean? But this interaction that I had, I was just like, it was just like just radiating positive energy. And I was like, my goodness, like the world needs more of that. The world needs more of that. So being sociable and radiating positive energy is very beneficial in terms of just knowing that you are making other people happy. You're uplifting people. Life. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. And he states that people will be attracted to you because of your vitalizing energy. Okay, and some people will say, "Oh, I'm an introvert." You can cultivate traits of extroverts. You can cultivate these traits. And he states something about Napoleon, about how he lived his life, even though Napoleon had what was seen as a very magnetic personality. He states that he had everything, but he was miserable. So he says, ultimately, how I interpret that is that with your pleasing personality and your attractive personality, use it to do good. Use it to do good. There's a lot of social media influencers today, but what are they influencing you to do? What are they influencing you to do? So this is it. Pleasing Personality by Napoleon Hill. That's just me reading some of the notes that I made. Check out the book by Napoleon Hill. It's a fantastic book. It's a fantastic book. There will be more to come on the different chapters. Faux shizzle. That being said, peace, love, veganism. Go out there, develop a pleasing personality, and just make the world a happier place. Peace.